I had a typical pregnancy. Nothing went wrong. Mason was actually a week late, so I had scheduled to be induced, and he decided to start to be born on Valentine's Day. So we quickly ran to the hospital. He was delivered on February 15th, which is International Angelman Syndrome Day, ironically. And it was also President's Day that year. But at the hospital and bringing him home, everything was normal. To us, we had a healthy baby boy. He was our first, and nothing was wrong. We went to his 3-month checkup, and at his 3-month checkup, the pediatrician was concerned in regards to him not meeting his milestones.
Oh, Wesley's coming to you.
Our first appointment at the geneticist office, she kept looking at him and she didn't see any abnormalities physically, so she didn't really have concerns there and recommended a round of genetic testing. And he was diagnosed with Angelman syndrome.
Chris and I had never even heard of Angelman syndrome before Mason was diagnosed because it only impacts 1 in 15,000 people. So we had never heard of it, let alone knew anybody who was impacted by it. There we go. Nice. Basically what Angelman syndrome is it's a loss of function in what's called the UBE3A gene. In Mason's case, that loss of function is what's called a deletion. He's just missing it. And the reason that's so impactful is that UBE3A gene produces the protein that regulates all the other proteins in your brain and tags the old ones for degradation so that you can sort of focus and process and not have too much going on. Angelman syndrome leads to seizures, sleep deprivation, balance disorders, and really lifelong learning disabilities. So Mason's 6 now and he's not able to walk independently. He's still nonverbal and working very heavily on his AAC device to communicate with us, and he's not able to feed himself.
I'm the first one up. I'm usually in the kitchen making breakfast and lunch for the day for the kids, as well as myself. Then I walk Mason into the dining room and sit him in his activity chair to feed him breakfast, which is his least favorite of the day, but that's where he gets his first round of medication. 4 scoops, because remember we're doing 2 meals.
In terms of Mason's exercises, we do them 3 times every day, usually about a half hour to 45 minutes. They are exercises that we learn from speaking with his occupational therapist and his physical therapist. So we focus a lot on hand over hand. And then the really important thing right now is his AAC device, which is essentially a tablet that has a grid system where he can click play and it'll open up a whole bunch of options of, playing with a ball, playing by reading a book, playing with his dinosaur toy, and he can push that and tell us what he wants. Between us working with it at home and his teachers and his speech therapist at school working on it, he is making a lot of progress, starting to be able to actually communicate with us and tell us his wants and desires.
His exercises are kind of a combination of just kind of play and speak. So a typical toddler learns by just playing with toys. Mason's not interested in those toys just alone because he can't manipulate them. His body can't tell his hands what to do. I hope for the best life possible for my son and everyone in the Angelman syndrome community. There are hopes for a cure, which would be amazing if one is found, but I just hope that he can independently do some things like eating on his own that we all take for granted.